Guys got it? All right, hard work on three, sprint to the next spot. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hard work. Sprint to the next spot. Don't walk. Get there, get there, get there, get there.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jamie here again with Phenom Hoops. I'm with our Director of Player Analysis, Jeff Bendel. We're here at Phenom's Team Camp Session 2 here at Nation Ford. Jeff, what'd you think of the weekend?
Man, you know, another great weekend. I mean, we've been hitting every single week. It seems like talent's just been in the gym. A lot of good takeaways.
So we had 3 days, I guess, to fill y'all in a little bit. We started Friday. We went Friday all day, starting at 11. We went to about 11 o'clock. Saturday all day, and today's Sunday. We're wrapping up the final set of games right now. We wanted to make sure we got this to you. So 3 days of events. Jeff, what is the main takeaway? What is the main storyline that you had?
Personally, I think Xavier McLain is underrated and under-recruited.
Yes.
And I think everybody on staff is going to agree with that. He was absolutely spectacular, and every time he touched the floor, you know, just a guy that's just undeniably productive every single time out. You know, kind of has an intriguing game to him, but just undeniably effective. Gets it done. Was a leader all weekend. And I mean, Justin Thomas is a great running mate with him. That Village team is well coached, and they always have been. So it's no surprise to see them, you know, hitting their stride early. But yeah, it looks like they can be another team that's going to possibly repeat and get right back where they were last year.
Yeah, they made it to the state championship game where they dropped to Carmel Christian last year in the state championship. They're back. Xavier and Justin are both back. They were both here last year. Awesome thing about Xavier is he is a National Honor Society student as well. Not only is he a mid-major basketball talent, but he's also a National Honor Society student, doing it on the court and in the classroom.
Absolutely.
What are some things about his game? What are some things about Justin's game that stood out to you?
You know, Xavier was just an overall leader. He scored as much as he wanted, whenever he wanted, but his ability to dictate the offense and, you know, kind of get other guys action, sets everything up. Travion McCray was kind of in that role last year, and now Xavion's kind of taken that on, and it just simply gets it done. I mean, there's nothing else to say that other than he just gets it done. Both ends of the floor, he defends with purpose, rebounds, sets the tone in every single way.
Staying in the city of Fayetteville, we also had Northwood Temple here this week.
Yes, very exciting.
You know, they lost Josh Nickelberry, Jamari Harvey transferred, went over to Moravian Prep, but they've reloaded. Yep. They have a very talented team, especially the top six that they had here this weekend. Can run with anybody. Yep. Who are some players, the Jay Hickmans, the Reggie Rainers, the Jaquante Harrises, who are some players for them that really stood out to you and took a step forward?
Well, I think Rainer is the undisputed leader of this team, both sides of the floor. Just talks, communicates.
Vicious.
Absolutely vicious. I mean, he's a high-level athlete, and we've known that for a long time, but he's made noticeable strides in his game. And, I mean, his touch on his shots can improve. You know, his ability to handle the ball's tightened up. He might not be a star for Team Felton, but he's an absolute star for this team.
Well, even today, you know, he's always been an athlete. People have known that. The question's been his jump shot. Well, even the final game today, he had 2 pull-up jumpers and a 3.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we've been saying it for at least a year now that he's a guy that's just on the cusp of ready to blow up, and I can't understand how it hasn't happened yet.
Absolutely. I love Jay Hickman's game.
Yes.
I don't know the way to sugarcoat it or lead it into it. I'll just straight out say I love Jay Hickman's game. 6'2", he's got like a 6'8" wingspan, and shoots the absolute cover off the ball, both off the catch and dribble. He can create for himself. He can get to his spots. He knows his game, and he just lights that thing up. We've known about Jay for a while. He's come to our camps for a long time and stuff. Why do you think, one, that he's a little bit underrated, has no offers right now, but two, how good do you think he really is?
I definitely think he's a Division I guy. Just the way he shoots the ball, and he has more than just shooting to his game. I think that's what's, you know, the link that you spoke about is really big for him on defense. I mean, his ability to kind of have a role on any team is always going to be there. I also thought Manny Sepulveda did a great job of running the show. I mean, last year he didn't look prepared to play on varsity at all, and now, I mean, he looks like a legitimate, you know, high school point guard that can play the whole game.
He is flashy with the handle. He's efficient with the pass. But he also straps on defense.
Yes, absolutely agree. I think he could be their X factor throughout the season.
Yeah, and then the mismatch of Johan Axel, 6'5", big man. He draws big man out from the post, but he also gets it downhill. He gets it past him and all that kind of stuff. Sure. Really good team, really interesting. Moving forward, Lake Norman Charter is a team, Callahan Reid, Donovan Atwell, guys that we know, but we haven't seen them together before.
Right.
Well, they came here and they opened eyes.
Yeah, no, I tweeted about them yesterday. I thought they were probably one of the most exciting teams in attendance. You know, Callahan Reid and Donovan Atwell are going to catch all the headlines because they're just such a tough backcourt. I mean, Donovan as a 2022 and 6'4", shoots the absolute cover off of it. He might have been the best shooter here, even including Hickman. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. He's going to be a guy to watch because he's thin. You know, he's going to continue to add size. He's got a little bit off the bounce, but also Oliver O'Brien was a major piece for them. You know, gets downhill, gets in the lane, just scores it.
Yeah,
makes efficient plays.
Absolutely, and everybody was talking about them after the fact. Everybody was talking about how they moved the ball, they beat the Moravians varsity team by about 25 that game, in an exciting fashion. But you speaking of good shooters, you mentioned Atwell and all that stuff.
Yes.
Caleb Mathews might be one of the most pure shooters that we've seen, especially off the catch.
Yes.
He seems to not ever miss. He efficiently goes for points. The last game he had 26. You don't even realize he's taking that many shots.
Right.
But he officially just gets buckets. What have you seen in Caleb Mathews' game? I mean, you've tracked him for over a year now.
Yes.
You've seen his growth, and you were on him before anybody else. What have you seen in the growth of his game, and what do you think about Caleb as a player?
I mean, I think the thing that stands out to me is his sheer consistency. I mean, every single game, it's like the same guy. He never wavers in his approach, is what I just put out. I mean, he scores it in a variety of ways, but, I mean, he really thrives from that catch and shoot and attacking the basket.
Yeah.
I mean, able to play above the rim whenever he wants, has enough craftiness to finish through and around contact. Great rebounder that can really defend, really puts on straps. I think if he were a 2021, I think there would be no ceiling for him right now.
No ceiling. And he's incredibly athletic. He's explosive. He'll come and dunk it on your head. He's got a 6'8" wingspan, 6'4", pure stroke. But that whole Henderson Collegiate team is exciting.
Yes.
They made it to the state championship game last year. They return everybody, and they should be probably the favorites to win the 1A states, or at least win the Eastern 1A states this year. What else are you seeing from that Henderson Collegiate group, other than being an incredibly well-coached, disciplined team?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Waverly and Caleb Mathews are going to get the headlines, but, I mean, guys like Davon Allen, A.K. Holden, Quavion Venable, and it goes on and on. Cameron Brooks, they just have a team full of guys, and especially in 1A basketball, it'd be hard for me to envision them doing anything other than winning in dominant fashion this year.
Yeah, absolutely. They got good size. Waverly is one of the best passers of the ball.
Yeah.
Sees the floor, sees the game 2 steps ahead. You have A.K. Holden, who's a tough guy with incredible pop down low.
Yes.
Caleb Brooks makes plays.
Just scrappy defender.
Just gets stuff done.
Yes.
And their other big guy rebounds. Davon Allen rebounds, finishes around the basket, finishes plays. They're a well-rounded team, and they're not small. Everybody's at least 6'1". They go 6'1" to about 6'5". They're athletic, they're long, they defend, and they just come in waves at you off the bench.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think this Henderson Collegiate team can go toe-to-toe with anybody. I don't think the classification matters. And when they're on, they're as good as anybody in the state.
Speaking of this platform, we have 50-plus coaches that came through this week. Again, this is a stage to really elevate your value, your worth. MJ Wildy, I would say, took advantage of this platform or this stage of being able to perform at a high level and show people what he's capable of. What did you see from MJ Wildy?
Well, I mean, I think we already knew that he has versatility, offensive versatility, and that's kind of what makes him a very unique player. The way he shot the ball this weekend was just off the charts. Did his normal thing around the basket, had some touch, showed stuff in transition, but his ability to stop and pop and just shoot was the difference maker. I think that's going to really open up his recruitment going forward.
Yeah. And also on that team, brief mention of Eli Ellis. Everybody seems to be just astonished, 6th grade going into 7th grade now, about his ability to play on the varsity level and to make some plays.
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, he was their leading scorer in at least 2 of their games today. Just he'll always have a role simply with his shooting, but he does more than that. He has a great feel for the game. A coach's son, understands how to handle the ball, create for himself, and work within the team concept.
Yeah, absolutely. And another team that people don't really talk about a lot that has come here, they came last week as well, coming here this week, Central Cabarrus.
Yes. I
really like their 3-headed monster they have. They have a team full, they're well coached, they do all that kind of stuff, but their 3-headed monster is somebody that college coaches, especially D2s and D3s and scholarship level schools, should be looking at intently, but also that people should know about in that 3A region as a potential problem.
Oh, 100% agree. I mean, you alluded to the 3-headed monster of Bissett, Cornish, and Boast. I mean, that team right now is giving them problems out there. I mean, to that Henderson Collegiate team we just spoke so highly of. Bissett scores the ball well. And, he's just a very calm, steady presence for this team. Boast just does a little bit of everything, but Cornish is a guy that I think college coaches should really hop on now. I mean, he might be a full scholarship type of kid.
No question. Yeah, no question. And then we've had the fortunate opportunity to watch 18 games last weekend, this weekend of Butler High School.
Oh, yeah.
The duo of Jordan McPhatter and Patrick Wessler.
Sure.
McPhatter, unbelievably exciting with his size, his handle, his ability to get anywhere.
Size.
Yeah, exactly. Anywhere, any ability to get anywhere on the floor, his ability to finish. He's the kind of guy that's like, he continues to do it. You just chuckle at it as to how in the heck is this guy able to do it?
Absolutely.
And he continues to go for 30. Yeah. But then you also have Patrick Wessler, the 6'11", post player who's tracking, as a 2022 to probably end up being a high major player as a throwback post. What are you seeing from that Butler team, and more specifically McPhatter and Patrick Wessler?
Well, I mean, we put out a feature on Butler this past week. McPhatter and Wessler are going to get all the headlines, and rightfully so, because they're a terrific duo. McPhatter is probably one of my favorite players in the state. I mean, regardless of class, he's just so electric, so exciting. Just plays the game with the right way, and just is able to mix it up whenever he wants. Wessler, I think, is probably well underrated right now. Just as we've spoken about, his feel is just off the charts, especially for a big man. The sky's really the limit for him, especially as he continues to get more athletic over time, and just playing experience with 3 more years, it's going to be hard to stop this kid going forward. But I think it's the surrounding pieces that's going to make this Butler team especially hard to handle. Peyton Scott just got moved up to varsity from last week to this week, and he'll eventually emerge as a contributor. But I mean, guys like Moses Payne, Ty Black, they just have a solid team top to bottom. Carson Evans, they're just a good team. And well coached.
Another team I want to shout out too is they don't have any one player that stands out, but the Harding University High School team as a team, they take on the personality of their coach LJ Johnson. Tough, hard-nosed, play for each other, have trust, and it's kind of an us versus them mentality. But they run 10 deep of players who come in and press and play with energy, play hard, and are athletic, and they're going to probably be a little bit more of a troubled team for other teams to play against this year than people expect.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them give Henderson Collegiate trouble this morning. Logan Blair is obviously the building block for this program. The 6'4", 2022 Team Charlotte kid, just super productive, great motor, all-around game, just knows how to get it done. However, Kobe Funderburk has been exceptional for them throughout the weekend. He can score. Just scores it however he wants, all 3 levels, just gets it done. And for a team that needs this guy to go out and get a bucket, he consistently is the guy to do that.
Absolutely. So those are some of the teams that we've gone through that have been really stand out. Are there a couple of other players that we haven't been able to mention their team, who teams might not be that you possibly want to talk about that have stood out to you, that have made their name, that have kind of used this platform in order to build up and gotten on the Bendal's best radar?
I mean, we spoke about Moravian Prep, but I think Terrence Johnson's a guy that teams should start tracking now. Kind of raw coming into it, still working on developing his skill set, but the fact that he is a high-level athlete that is now shooting the 3 ball at a reliable, more so reliable clip, it is a very encouraging sign. I think that this kid could be a scholarship-type guy as well. I mean, another player that stood out, R.J. Felton. He was absolutely tremendous throughout the weekend. We know him as a high-level player for a long time now, but he showcased the whole arsenal this weekend. An intense, just leader, defensive monster.
Well, I'll tell you something for him that really surprised me was his ability to shoot the ball. We've all known him to be intense. We all know him to defend and attack and above the rim and stuff. Sure. But he really shot the ball at a high clip this weekend.
Yeah, like above 50% from beyond the arc high, because we know he could shoot, but it wasn't that well, but he's really up this consistency. I mean, and that kind of goes to speak to what kind of player he is. A guy that averaged led the team in scoring 2 years in a row, had multiple 30-point games on the UIBL. It is what it is. I mean, he's just a stud. Going forward, I thought the Ashbrook team was exceptional. With Chris Britt gone, Greg Brockington was willing and ready to step into that role and was unbelievable. Consistently great for them.
Well, first game of the event, he comes in with a 30 ball. Follows it up with 26 and another game with 24.
He averaged well over 20 throughout the weekend. It was just unbelievable. Ball on a string, shoots it from anywhere, gets to the basket and actually has craftiness, even though he's undersized at 5'8", 5'9". And then James Dotson, another piece for that Ashbrook team that's going to have a big senior year. I think he's a scholarship level guy, 6'5". Pretty solid versatility, show the ability to shoot the ball, and obviously with his athleticism that we've seen throughout the summer, just a really intriguing prospect.
Yeah, well, the thing about Dotson that really, I guess, intrigued me about him, we'd known about him for a while. He's like top 10 in the state in block shots, and has that pop to his game and timing. But he was able to line up offensively at multiple positions. Either he was on the block some, he was behind the 3-point line on the wing some. Post. They put him at the high post, and he was able to create from all the spots, all the places. I guess his versatility on offense was something that really kind of surprised me, is to wow, this guy's an actual legitimate scholarship level prospect.
Yeah, 100% agree. I love when they featured him at the high post, because they torched him every time he did that. He would get the ball, 1-2 dribbles, make a decisive read or finish. I mean, he was great at doing that. And then finally, I think the Lancaster team we have to talk about. Janiel Pittman was probably one of the 3 most productive players in the entire event at 6'2", 6'3", and just strong bully ball, He's unbelievable. Unbelievable rebounder. Scores the ball shockingly well.
Was there a more exciting team than Lancaster High School? I mean, when it comes to the bench, when it comes to the fans that they had, when it comes to the clapping and the yelling and the excitement, was there a more exciting team overall than Lancaster High School?
I feel like this kind of goes perfectly with what you say about South Carolina basketball and the intensity and how dogs are bred down here.
Yeah.
But it's like really is. I mean, that Lancaster team is good beyond Pittman. They have a lot of depth and a lot of guys that can contribute right now, including like a Mazion Tinsley, Jimmy on Brown. Like they have a very, very good group, and they're going to only continue to get better. I'm excited to see the growth for this squad.
Absolutely, and so those people, we knew about Ashbrook, we knew about Dotson a little bit. Brockington was a bit of a surprise, but he was awesome too. Yeah. We knew about Felton coming in, we knew about Lancaster coming in, Janelle Pittman, we'd seen him for a few years. A team that we didn't know a lot about that really impressed, TL Hanna High School.
Yes.
We knew a little bit about those pieces with James Lovern and with Haddock Rogers. Yep. We knew about them, but we hadn't seen them as a collective whole.
Right.
They came in and opened some eyes. What are your thoughts about the TL Hanna program and specifically Lovern and Haddock Rogers?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm glad you said something. I mean, John Haddock Rogers was very impressive. Yes. I mean, very, very impressive. He can also be a scholarship type guy. 6'6", 6'7", shoots the ball, but is mostly a back to the basket, traditional. Can feature at the high post or on the low block kind of guy. Very skilled, very smooth, just great feel for the game. Actually, solid defender too. Moves well for his size. Knows how to wall up and defend without fouling. Yeah. And he did a great job leading that team. But James Lovern was the clear, leader. He's a 2021
Swaggy James.
He was just super good. Shot the cover off the ball, but his ability to be a point guard and to run the show efficiently and consistently was what stood out. I mean, he made the right read every single time to the right guy. He was just immaculate with the ball in his hands.
Yep. So everybody, this is Phenom Session 2, Phenom Team Camp Session 2. Jeff, did you have one more thing?
Yeah. I mean, also I wanted to talk about that Gaston Day team with Chris Britt and Callum Richard.
Good call.
Another duo that's going to be taking the hoop state by storm, especially with Chris Britt reclassing.
This is why he's the director of player analysis, because he just has names in his head the whole time nonstop.
Yeah, Chris Britt. I mean, reclassing to 2022. Quick twitch point guard, gets where he wants on the floor, can shoot it, can attack the basket, really mirrors his defender or his assignment on defense. But I mean, Callum Richard as a rising freshman, a lot to get excited about.
By now.
So yeah, by now. I mean, 6'8", really good feel. Only going to get better with strength and athleticism.
Yep. No, absolutely. So that Gaston Day team, I agree 100% on Callum Richard. I mean, his brother Aiden, a couple years ago, 7-footer, went to Belmont Abbey. Callum's coming up, knows the game, knows the process. Great patience. It's unbelievable to see his moves, his footwork, his patience on the block. Exciting stuff there going on at Gaston Day. But that about wraps it up for Phenom's Team Camp Session 2 here. We're at Nation Ford High School. Guys, make sure you check out next week, for all you hoop heads that are listening, Nation Ford High School again. We're going to have Phenom's Challenge. Next week, it's going to be an AAU tournament. We're going to have about over 100 teams coming from all over. We're going to have the shoe sponsor teams, Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour teams are coming at every level, 15s, 16s, and 17s. So the best of the best of the best. The biggest recruitment, teams getting recruited by schools who you watch on TV every day, wear their T-shirts to the park and everything. Make sure you check that out. We're going to be here again at Nations Ford. In the meantime, check us out on social media, Instagram and Twitter, Phenom_hoops. The hashtag for this week was Phenom Team Camp, PHENOM Team Camp. Make sure you check that out for all the recaps and tweets and all the social media stuff. We've had Donnie Bowie on the camera here, so make sure you keep checking out Phenom Mixtapes on Twitter, as well as our social media or our Instagram feed, YouTube throughout the week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that's about it. The recaps. We had a scout on every single court, covering every single game, writing about kids from every single game. PhenomHoopReport.com is the website. Make sure you check that out. And also Baller TV. Every single game was live streamed and archived. All you college coaches out there, make sure you check out the website and then go to subsequently check out the Baller TV live stream archive. But until then, guys, thank you very much. For Jeff Bindle, Jamie Shaw, we'll see you later.
Guys got it? Nice hard work on three, sprint to the next spot. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hard work. Sprint to the next spot. Don't walk. Get there, get there, get there, get there.